Hi guys, welcome to the Millennial Movie Fan Channel. My name is Tyler. Today's review is going to be for the finale of WandaVision, the 9th episode. If you guys are new to the channel, make sure you give me a thumbs up down below, hit subscribe, and the little notification bell. That way you get alerts to when I post a new video. Share this video around to all your friends and family on Facebook, Twitter, and all the different social media outlets. I did buzz my head. If you guys didn't know, you know now. This episode is really great of WandaVision, really great finale, really great way to wrap up this little mini-series that we got. This story of Wanda Maximoff and her grieving for the losses that she suffered in her life. This episode's full of fight scenes and different kinds of revelations, maybe not the ones that everybody thought that were gonna be revealed, but they were definitely interesting things that we learned and found out and were left with at the end of the episode. So I like the callback to the Wicked Witch with Agatha. They're fighting in the beginning where the last episode left off. She throws a car at her and she's in this house, kind of like under the house, like the Wicked Witch of the West in The Wizard of Oz, and her boots are just sitting there, kind of like how the ruby slippers were on her feet and they curl up in The Wizard of Oz. So I like that. I got that was a reference to The Wizard of Oz, and I thought that was great. The fight between the two visions was awesome too. There was another reference in there, or at least a similar visual thing that they set up with him fighting the white version of Vision, and he slams his head into the cement as he's flying along, pushing him into the street, kind of like Man of Steel. I thought that was really cool as well. It's a cool visual thing, and of course, if two flying guys were fighting like that, that's how they would fight, so it makes sense. But I also felt like it was a reference to Man of Steel, which I feel like they did in another previous episode where he flies above the city and is just listening to everybody's thoughts and hearing their conversations. What I didn't like about this episode was Evan Peters not being Quicksilver from the other universe, from the X-Men universe, meaning that there's a multiverse. It was just that he was a guy and his name was Ralph Boner, which I feel like they did on purpose just to kind of mess with us because they were messing with us already. So I feel like that was just kind of a jab at the fans, like, haha, like this guy's name's Boner, and you thought he was somebody from the other movies, and we led you to believe one thing, and it wasn't that. I feel like Multiverse of Madness has to open up to the X-Men characters and at least have those actors reprise their roles as the mutants. Otherwise, they're going to have to recast it, and it'll be weird that they did just one little thing with Evan Peters' Quicksilver character, but he wasn't really that character. It's just like, it was cool. We all got excited, but it's because we thought it was one thing and they did something totally different with it. So, I don't know. That's kind of a weird thing that stuck out to me in this episode, but other than that, I liked pretty much everything that followed. I felt like when the family got together and they were in the town square and they were all like, huh, with their dukes up, I felt like that was a reference to The Incredibles, with the family all fighting together, and Wanda's kind of like, this is what you guys were born to do. The scene that followed with Vision convincing the other Vision that they're both remnants of the Vision that was once a part of the MCU and living and whatever. I thought that was cool. I like the analogy he used with the ship of Theseus. That's like this mental question that is posed. And he flies up in the air at the end and he's gone. So I'm wondering where he went, when we'll see him again. And if he would have stuck around, maybe he could have stopped Wanda from going off. And I feel like she's going to be the villain in Doctor Strange 2. And I feel like he could have stopped that if he just had another interaction with her that was different than that. Now feeling the way it feels like he does after Vision kind of changed his mind a little bit, where he was less hostile, and it seems like his goal wasn't to kill Wanda because he went somewhere else. I like that Wanda took Agatha back to her past, back to like the witches from like the Salem time era. She also stopped Vision from interfering when she was casting the spell along the wall at Westview that Agatha did in her basement. That was the charm or whatever, that she couldn't use her powers because only the witch that cast the thing in there or whatever, they had set that up before, and I like that she did that on a bigger scale with the whole town, and that was really interesting that she beat Agatha with her own power that she basically showed to Wanda. That was the only like spell and stuff that she knew because she watched her do it. But Wanda's new costume is great too. I'm sure we'll see that in the new movies. I like that it looked like Magneto. A lot of people online were pointing out that it looked like Magneto's outfit. I thought it was incredibly sad when she had to say goodbye to her kids, knowing that the walls were like literally closing in on them and she would lose them probably forever, as far as she knew. That line, "Thank you for choosing me to be your mom," was awesome. I thought that was a really cool moment. It's going to be a memorable moment, and it was really emotional to watch that and to see, she got to have the family she always wanted, that, she had for a time when she was young before it was taken away from her. And she's, I think, going to try to get that back down the road, and it's going to cause some problems for the whole multiverse. But Elizabeth Olsen and Paul Bettany are great in this show, and they have a parting scene that follows them saying goodbye to the kids that was great as well, where they were like, I've died before and I've been different things, and who knows what I'll be now. Vision says what I'll be next, and we've said goodbye, and that just means that we'll say hello again down the road. So it was just kind of like, well, I'm going, but I'll see you later. There's like white version of me running around. In one of the post-credit scenes, we see that Hayward got arrested, and all the sidekick Avengers, as I like to call them, were all teed up for their other future movies that they're probably going to be a part of. So Captain Rambeau is probably going to be in Captain America 2, based on the Skrull coming to her and saying that Talos, her mom's old friend, was like, it's time to get you up to our space station that we got, the S.W.O.R.D facility. Jimmy Woo is probably going to be in the Quantum Realm Ant-Man 3, whatever it's called, and Darcy presumably will be in Thor 4. It looks like at least it's setting it up that way. Maybe not. Maybe we'll see them just pop up wherever, because we didn't expect them to be in WandaVision, but they were. So that's pretty cool. I feel like these characters are pretty versatile. The last we see of Wanda is that she's deep in the mountains at this cabin, and she, much like how Doctor Strange studied magic, is projecting outside of her body in like the astral plane or astral form, whatever it is, and she's just walking around drinking coffee, but she's really doing spells and going nuts, floating in the air with stuff floating all around. She's reading that book that is like the Dark Book, whatever it's called. That's from the comics as well. A lot of the Marvel nerds on Facebook and all the groups that I follow like knew what that was, hardcore, and it's this big thing. But it's one of the books that we're missing from the Sanctum Sanctorum, it looks like, and it's about the dark magic and stuff, and Book of Death or whatever she called it. So Wanda, it looks like, is reading that, and then she hears one of her kids call out to her. So I think that's a sign that she maybe found them from another dimension or multiverse or whatever, and I think she's going to try to bring them into our multiverse, or go there to that multiverse, that dimension, and that will screw things up and involve Doctor Strange, I believe, in his own film. Based on that line that Agatha gives where she says, "You're supposed to be stronger than the Sorcerer Supreme," I think they already kind of set up in fans' minds, at least in my mind, that she is pinned up and on a collision course with Stephen Strange in the MCU. So, especially with all the magic elements that she's picking up on now, she's going to become a powerful force in that little pocket universe of the MCU. So I think she's bound to be on the radar of Doctor Strange eventually at some point, especially if, like I said, and my theory is true, that she's trying to bring the family back again, or find a world where the kids are alive and Vision's alive, or brother's alive, or whatever. It's crazy that the MCU has gotten to this point that that's like a viable thing, that we're going to have all these different universes and she can pull people from whatever thing, and there's all these magic, and these magic people are going to fight. But that's kind of where we're at, and that is a viable theory. So that's kind of nuts to me. But I love the series. I thought it was a great setup for the Disney Plus series that we're going to get that are within the MCU, and I now have high hopes for Falcon and Winter Soldier, which is up next, Hawkeye, Loki, all the other ones. I feel like this show just blended genres so well and went back and forth between them. Still felt within continuity of the other movies and the characters that we know that were in them and in the other movies. And they just proved that they could do anything within the Marvel universe. The supporting cast of characters were great. So many amazing acting performances. I'm one of those people that thinks Elizabeth Olsen could win an Emmy for this. And obviously Paul Bettany and Catherine Hahn too, just for their performances and for the different kind of roles that they played, even as the same character throughout the show as the show evolved and we didn't know what was going on as like it went through the eras of sitcom TV. I wasn't disappointed with the show when a lot of the theories didn't work. Every time an episode would end, it would end on a cliffhanger and discussion points, and we had a whole week as a fandom to sit and discuss and throw theories out there and speculate on what was going to happen. And sometimes you get your hopes too high or you go down the wrong road, and there were some things that they wanted you to believe and some Easter eggs that they set up to leave you astray. I was not disappointed with that, because in my opinion the MCU now is so far beyond like my base knowledge, or at least like my comfort zone of Marvel hero knowledge. Like I was a big Spider-Man animated guy growing up, so I knew Iron Man, Captain America, the guys that would come on that show, the X-Men series I knew. So as much as I love the X-Men and I can't wait for Fantastic Four to be introduced, Doctor Doom, Namor, Galactus, Silver Surfer, stuff that I know already, there's so much that I don't know that is just the wacky side of the MCU, the lesser known stuff that is being ingrained here in all these other upcoming shows, and I'm really excited for that. And I think what the MCU is good at is shifting tones and shifting gears. So Spider-Man can be a street level hero, saving the neighborhood. Ant-Man could be saving his family, and then they could have a big Avengers movie that they build up to that's saving the universe. Doctor Strange will be saving the multiverse. Like they can raise the stakes and lower the stakes, and it doesn't feel like a lesser thing. It's still exciting, and they can shift gears like that to now have the Winter Soldier, who isn't magical, and Falcon, who isn't magical. They don't have powers, but they use technology and their enhancements, and this might be more of an espionage show like the Winter Soldier Captain America movie was. So I am excited for that. I think it'll be cool. I like that they're bringing Baron Zemo back, but for that show, guys, I'm not going to do a per episode review. I'm going to do a series review as a whole. Maybe it'll be a little bit longer. It depends on what I have to say and what the series is, what it entails, how much I have to say based on my thoughts. But I will let you guys know, and we will do a review for that after it's done its run of all the episodes and it's over. But I'm so excited for that show because WandaVision was so great. So let me know what you guys think, and I will see you guys in the next video.